Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. We are EBS, your experienced technology partner. We specialize in the deployment of Sage Business Management and Microsoft solutions, managed services, and secure on-premises and cloud-based infrastructure. We are now in our 44th year. My name is Darren Tolley, and I am one of the account managers here at EBS. Today, we are joined by our partner Kamarin, a leader in the provision of point-of-sale, trade counter, and ticketing solutions. I would like to extend a warm welcome to Rachel Jakings, who will take us through an overview of Kamarin's integrated POS and trade counter solutions. We are recording today's presentation and will make this available to you in the next few days. There are lots of recordings on our YouTube channel. Remember to hit subscribe to receive notifications when we load new videos. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat, or there will be an opportunity at the end of the presentation in the Q&A session. So let's get the show on the road. Over to you, Rachel. Good morning.
Morning. Thanks, Darren. Hi everyone, thanks for joining. As Darren said, I'm Rachel and I am the channel manager at Kamarin. We specialise in accounts integrated products. So today, obviously, I'll here to talk to you about our EPOS solution, which integrates with both Sage 50, Sage 200 and other products. So we've worked with EBS now for a number of years. So I will just share my screen and I can take you through today just a high-level overview which kind of gives you some of the key features of KCPOS. I won't sort of bore you too much with war and peace of every single function, but hopefully just to kind of give you an idea, and then if it's something you like the look of or you want to know more, then obviously the team at EBS can put us in touch and we can take you through that for further discussion. EPOS is a Windows-based software solution. So I'm currently running it on my VM, but if you imagine, we can run it on various types of hardware, including full till bundles, which obviously come with a cash drawer, customer display, receipt printer, everything as you would expect. Or we do have options for tablet solutions, or some of our customers just tend to run them on PCs as well, if that's just a requirement, or if you just wanted it running in the back office. So what you're seeing here is our interface. We can log in various different ways. So I'm going to log in with a password for demo purposes, but we can use things such as Dallas keys, swipe cards, barcode readers, and so on. We do recommend that all of your users have their own login, because everything on KCPOS is permissions-based, so it's got full traceability. You can see absolutely everything that your staff members have done, including refunds, voids, everything like that. So it's quite useful if you need to trace something back. So in terms of the integration, so we integrate to quite an in-depth level with Sage 200 and Sage 50, but because we use the accounts package as the main sort of source of holding that stock, what that does is it stops you from having duplication of stock, so you're not having to take your products out of your accounts package and put them into a back-end EPOS, and therefore there's no kind of risk of discrepancies between the two. But we can also pull things through such as your customers, their different price bands, discount structures, quantity breaks, and so for customer information, and then also stock information as well. So the tills will sort of extract that data on a continual basis and push to and from the till. And yeah, we produce the same style pricing as the accounts package because of that. So in terms of just the layout of KCPOS, so everything is customizable. We can completely configure KCPOS to suit your requirements. But over here is what you're seeing as the item or transaction screen. So as I put through items, you'll be able to see them up here. In the middle here is our tender screen. So we can handle various types of tenders. If you want to use vouchers, give me a load of bits of paper and say that these are vouchers, that's absolutely fine. You can use part tenders as well. Just on the cards, we do integrate with various chip and pin providers, which we can put you in touch with. Dojo seem to be taking the market by storm at the moment, but we also integrate with Verifone and Apeo as well. We then have our managers menu, which I will delve into a little bit more as we run through the demonstration, but this is kind of more more detailed things that you might need to do. Not everybody would necessarily use this menu, more sort of the managers or somebody with admin rights, really. And then over here is our calculator screen. And then what you're seeing down here is our customizable menu. So whilst we can change some of the other buttons, really here is what you're would really focus on. We can change everything. You can have various things such as action buttons, like creating a new deposit cell, for example, or a new gift card, or you can have your categories. So you can have your categories and then it will delve down through into the products. And you can have I think it's something like 99 category levels as well if you wanted, so there's no kind of limitation, so we can really mirror Sage for you on that, or other accounts packages as well. So ultimately it's a till and it does everything you would expect a till to do, so I won't kind of go into the obvious, but just to kind of point out a few of our key features. So KCPOS can handle barcodes, so if all of your products are fully barcoded, then that's absolutely fine. We can use manufacturer barcodes, but we can also create the barcodes for you as well, if they were sort of your own products or they didn't come with the manufacturer barcode. We typically tend to use the stock code as the barcode for this, just to keep things really simple, but we can be flexible. If you have a mix of products where some are barcoded and some aren't, that's not an issue at all either. We can search for products in various different ways. So just to give you an example, so find group, ignore my concoction of categories, it's obviously demo data, but the all of these red is basically pulling through your categories from Sage. Once you get to the blue, then this is the actual stock item itself. Or we can do find products as well. So for example, I can search. So I've searched the word bag. So this is now bringing up any items, regardless of whether the word bag is in the stock code or the description, and it will pull that through for you. It is quite an intelligent search function as well. So if it was, if you'd put bag freezer, for example, it would still pull that up. Or if you couldn't remember how to spell freezer and just put FRE, then it would still pull through. But obviously, the more you limit that down, the easier it is to find an item. We do also have a product information tab as well. So what that allows you to do is search for an item, or you could just simply select that and scan the item. If you've got multiple warehouses or locations, multiple shops, then this will show you at each of your locations what is in stock. So if somebody had come into your store and you didn't have the specific item they were looking for in stock, you can actually see where, which other of your locations do have that. You can then actually sell that item from there and push it through to your backend accounts package as a sales order, so that your picking team will then pick that up to order and dispatch for them as well. But you can take payment there and then if you wanted to. So let me just pop through some items for you and I'll point out a few things. So we can handle things such as modifiers. So modifiers are basically add-on messages or sales items that go hand in hand. So for example, on mine, I've added a Swarovski. So these are sort of binoculars and camera equipment on this demo system, but these basically allow you to add on an item. So you can use these for things like extended warranties as well, is quite a common one, but it basically puts it as a sub product of that item. So as you can see, you can attach a price to them. You can also have items without a price associated to them. So if you imagine in maybe a restaurant style or a cafe, and it's you've added somebody's purchased steak, do you want it cooked medium rare, well done, and so on? You wouldn't want a cost associated to that, but you could still use the modifier to pop up with options for you. And you can also have it just to give you sort of messages as well. So for example, remind the customer about the branded cases available, or is the customer over 18, or if there's certain messages that you want your sales staff to remember. I know one of our customers that we've just sort of set up for, they sell some torches as one of their products, so it's, do you want to add batteries to that? So it's just a really easy way to kind of upsell items and make sure that you're covering all bases as well at the point of sale. But if I just add on a couple of others. So at the moment, you can see that I'm just doing a general retail sale. So that is general Joe Public, come in and the pricing is the pricing, pushing through that sale. If, however, they sort of say to you, actually, I'm a loyalty customer or I've got an account with you guys, you can search for their account. If they've got swipe cards as well, so we can allocate swipe cards to customers so that they just give you that card, you swipe it and it will pull up them or barcoded or whatever. But I can search for them. I can now select my customer account. So this is not just stored on the till, this is actually pulling it from Sage or your backend accounts package. So if you've got you know, various customers set up, then we can actually pull them through here. And you can see now that I'm now selling to Mr. Neil Bedford. So if Neil Bedford has his own special pricing, or all of this pricing will automatically amend based on that. I can click on his details as well if he says what address have you got registered for me, or we do also have the option to give credit limits as well on our solution. So this again mirrors your backend accounts package. You can see that he's actually over his credit limit. We can have various different permission levels, so you can just make it so that categorically you cannot sell to somebody who is over their credit limit, or you need to go and get manager's permission and only certain people can authorize that transaction through. So yeah, as I said, everything is permissions based to give you control over all of those kind of things. The customer also doesn't have to tell you that they're an account customer at the beginning of the sale, sorry. So even if they just do that at the end, some solutions out there make you do it at the beginning, which is quite irritating. If you've already scanned all the product things, you'd have to remove them all and start again. We don't mind at what point they tell you that. I can then proceed with the transaction as you would expect. So cash. There's various options, and again, everything's configured. So if this isn't something you do, so if you don't have like with VAT inclusive or exclusive pricing, then we can obviously remove the VAT part of here. You can see here that there's two options. So save as order. Save as order, what that will do is rather than them just taking the items away, then it will actually push that through to your accounts package as a sales order. So it could be if you're a trade counter, for example, and the customer doesn't want to take the goods away with them, they want it delivered to their customer's site because they've got a building job on, you can actually save it as an order to be picked, and you can also give it a different delivery address. If you don't give it a different delivery address, it will just automatically pick up your address that we have associated to you, but obviously they might want it to go direct to their customer. And then we can proceed with the transaction. Again, all of these can be turned on and off, but if you're running a campaign, for example, you might want the option to say what marketing source it's from as well. And you can give them a reference as well. So if they wanted it to show against a job that, you know, the address or the name of their customer just for their own reference, then that's possible too. This is an example of a receipt that might print out. So again, we can configure all of the layouts. You can put your website, any messages at the bottom. We can print out secondary receipts too if you wanted promotional receipts to print out for a certain period of time, for example. And then it's simple as that, we've completed our transaction. So if I just pick through a couple of other items and just show you a few other features that we have. So we have the ability to park a transaction. So parking a transaction allows you, if a customer is at the till and sort of says, oh, I've just forgotten this, let me quickly run and get it, rather than you having to hold up the rest of your customers, you can park the transaction, you can take their name. What this will do is print out a mini receipt with it will actually have a barcode on there. It doesn't display on the VM, but on the actual receipt printout, it will have a mini barcode. You can give them that. They can go and find their transaction, find their other item, sorry, that they're looking for. They can now come back to the till. It doesn't have to be the till that they were at either. It can be any till, and they can restore that park. So I clicked on restore part there, but you can just simply scan the barcode and it will pull up the transaction where you left off, or we can restore it as I just did. And this will now allow me to continue with my sale, but you can serve other customers in the meantime. It is also quite good if a customer rings up and sort of says, oh, have you got this in? Can you put it to the side for me? And you can go, yep, they're on their way. You can actually have the transaction ready just to take the payment for them too. But yeah, and then you can continue with your sale as you would. I've already mentioned we do have the ability to do part cash, part cards, take different vouchers. You can do a mixture as well of selling on account. Customers can pay off some of their account as well from the till. So if they wanted to just pay a balance, then that's not a problem. So as you can see, we have the ability to do deposit sales. So we can do new deposit sales and existing. Take existing. So if they wanted to come in and pay off weekly up until Christmas, or I know we have a customer that is a butcher's, and customers can go in advance and pay off, order their Christmas meat, so they can allow, they can see obviously what their orders are for Christmas and order in accordingly. But customers could then go in and pay weekly or monthly or whatever towards their meat order for Christmas. We do have the option to, so receipt reprint. So reprint is literally the till roll got jammed, you just want to reprint the last receipt. We also have the option for receipt history. So if a customer comes back to you and sort of says, I bought this item from you, I want to buy the same again, or I need to return it, but I can't find my receipt, you can actually go and have a look back. So if they can remember what till, we can name the tills as well, so that it's easier for you. You can select. If they know that they bought it on their account, then you can limit it down that way. And if they can remember a rough idea of what date they came in, so I'm just adding a few months just so it shows some data, but you can sort of limit it down and search. So this is now pulling through all receipts that have taken place within this criteria, and I can either print receipts. We do have the option for e-receipting as well. So this is different to them being a loyalty customer. So we can send email receipts, but we don't actually store their email address, because obviously you have to be careful taking customer details and storing it without their permission. If you just simply email a receipt, it will email them that one-off receipt, but doesn't store it. We do have loyalty options as well, which I'll kind of delve into a little bit more. But then we also have the option for printing or emailing invoices. So if it is a customer that doesn't, like a thermal receipt isn't really suitable and they want a full A4 invoice, that's not a problem too. We can set those as well, sort of per customer. So if a customer always wants an invoice instead of a thermal receipt, then we can make it so that it just does that automatically. Or we can have a button that would sort of pop up on the till and say, do you want an A4 invoice or a thermal receipt? And you can select it at the point of the sale. If I then wanted to refund, so I can find the transaction and refund against a specific line. With refunds, if they do have the receipt, you can just simply scan the barcode on the bottom of the receipt that they've bought in. It will find the transaction and you can refund against that line too. But if they didn't have it, then you can search for it this way. And we can also just copy that transaction. So if they wanted to order exactly the same thing, you can literally copy that transaction across and then continue with it in the normal screen as you would. Retrieving a remote receipt. So this gives you the option, if they've gone into a different shop, different location, and they've bought something and they want to return it, for example, to a different store, then you can actually go to sort of head office level at this point and find that receipt as well. Obviously, with that one, you need to have Wi-Fi connection. So just on that, so KCPOS has the ability to work offline. So if your network goes down, your Wi-Fi goes down, then you can continue to sell. We take snapshots of your database. So every so often it will take a snapshot from Sage or your backend accounts package. And basically it will take the last data of that. And then once your Wi-Fi comes back in, we can literally, it will just automatically sync everything back across to Sage for you. We do have customers who will literally take a till, physically pick it up and take it to a trade show, Trade All Week, or to a pop-up shop, or we have some tourist attractions that run sort of mazes, for example, when they have literally a till out in the field, and then they, at the end of the day, will just bring that till back across and sync all of the transactions without any issue. So yeah, we are quite flexible with that. KCPOS does have its own training mode as well, so we have the ability to basically, it will turn the tills, I think it's purple, so the receipts as well will print out saying training across, but basically that allows new starters, or if it's something that you don't have to do very often and you just want to check that you're doing it correctly before you actually go and post anything across to your accounts package. It allows you to use the till as you would and sort of learn what you're doing on it. Really, really good for new starters, but just not post anything across. So let me just pop that through. Okay, so we can also, we can create new customer accounts from the till. So this is asking me if I wanted to give them a swipe card, then it will you can swipe it on the mag swipe reader at this point and it will automatically input the number of that card, or scan the barcode and it will do the same. And then you can literally take all of their customer details and create an account for them. This will actually then push that customer details across to your accounts package and they would now be set up as a customer moving forward. We do also integrate with a postcode lookup solution too, just to make obviously the address searching quite quick, because obviously you want to make your customer journey as smooth and as quick as possible without asking them for lots of details. So obviously it does save quite a lot of time having the postcode lookup feature there as well, and you can select mandatory fields as well. KCPOS can handle gift cards too. So again, you might have a selection of pre-printed gift cards, for example, or blank gift cards. You can swipe that or scan that barcode. So if I just type in a number, I can now say how much I want to sell. So I want to sell it for £100. And I can now proceed that transaction. So I've now sold a gift card to somebody. If they then want to come in and, so I now want to sell something. Let me just try and find an item that's less than that value. So bear with me. Go into here. Oh. Wow, we'll do this one because I know. So this one I didn't have a price associated, so we can have miscellaneous stock items as well, which allows you to actually input the price at the point of sale rather than pulling it across. So we do have that option. So I'm just putting an item on there for £25 and I am going to sell it on my gift cards, which I could swipe, but if obviously I haven't got my mag swipe reader attached, so I'm going to sell it to the gift card that I've just sold and continue with that sale. So now if somebody comes in and they want to check their gift card, you can simply just scan that. So I can now see that I sold a gift card for £100 and then on this date it was redeemed by £25 and their balance is £75 remaining. So every time they redeem against that balance, you can see when and where, and then it shows me the transaction number, which ultimately allows me to pull up the receipt as well if they were sort of disputing that and you want to look what it is that they purchased. But yeah, every time, so you will get a full breakdown of that gift card and what's happened to it. They can also top up the same gift card as well, rather than you having to keep giving them brand new ones. Then yeah, you can actually top up a gift card too. Okay, so all of these kind of functions are more training, but ultimately we have KCPOS Administrator, which is more where you can design sort of layouts of tills, but we are able to add sort of ad hoc things from here. Again, a lot of it is training, so I won't sort of delve too much into that, but you can see the types of of functions that you have available. You can see here my mode is set up, but I can set different till menus. So for example, I can have till menus with completely different looks and feels. So let me just show you. We can also have pictures against items as well, or the logos. So that's often quite popular with drinks. As you can see, we have the ability to do that, and we have the option for pictures to pop up as well when you select an item if you wanted to have a look at it closer. With these menus as well, it's quite useful if you're quite a seasonal business. So if, for example, you wanted to set up a Christmas mode or menu, then you can do that in advance, and then at Christmas or in December, whenever you want to start that Christmas period. It's getting earlier and earlier these days, but you can just flick across to that menu on all of the tills, and it will just allow you to have a different sort of layout that's more suitable for that time of year. If you're running an event or you're going to a trade show, for example, you could set up a menu that is specifically for that event. If you're only selling, say, a selection of your items, you can actually just have those ones on there, so those categories or those stock items. So let me just go back. So in terms of, if I just go to the till functions and show you, so we have the option for end of day sort of session reads, or end of session reads, sorry, or end of day reads, as you would expect. So an end of day read allows you to cash up from the till. A lot of our customers also cash up in the back office, so again, we're quite flexible, but just to kind of give you an idea of the data that you might see. So we can see the flow, any petty cash drops and lifts throughout the day, how much cash should be in the drawer, can see all the different types of tenders that we've taken throughout the day, and all of the different discounts, item corrections, and so on. One feature that's quite useful is our 24-hour time banding clock. So what this does is show you at any hour of the day how many transactions and customers you're selling on each till. So this allows you to kind of either send staff home if you're quite quiet for the day, or rearrange your rota. So if you have everybody in a standard on a 9 to 5, but you realise actually we don't get busy until about 11, you can obviously change your shift patterns or get your staff doing something more useful, like a stock take, much to their dismay, but you have the ability to see that as well. And then we do actually get full cashier reports as well. So I'm just logged in with admin, but we can have a full breakdown of all of your users, how many sales they've done for the day, how many discounts, refunds, and so on. Okay, so I am running my end of read, so it will now ask me to input my detail. It will tell me any variances, and I can choose to accept or recount. Same with gift cards, vouchers again, and then it will show me what my cash up is showing. What I've said is my cash up figures. Now, when I log back into the till the next day or for the next shift, this will force me to start an X-read session. So you can't just start up the till without running an X-read. It will force me to enter my float for the day as well, and then it will give me a receipt. So I have to actually go and sign that receipt, so you can see who opened up the till. In terms of discounts and promotions, so we have a full selection of different discounts and promotions that you can run. So obviously we can do anything from buy one get one free, multi discounts, or meal deal style discounts where you buy certain items within these ranges for this price. We can go quite detailed with them, so we can pull them across from Sage or your back-end accounts package, and we can stop it so that certain items can't get double discounted, for example. So if there are items that fall into more than one discount, then we can allow it just to do the one that's best for the customer or whatever. But there's lots of different promotions, buy one get one free, and so on. Just a few other things that I'll just sort of reel off, but we can support gift aid as well. And we can provide the correct reports that you need to submit to HMRC. We do also have a full hospitality mode. So we actually have the ability on here, so customers you can take table bookings if you wanted. You might just do this at certain times of year, like Christmas or certain, party times of the year. You can actually take table bookings and select time slots for the customer. You don't have to use that function, but we can actually set up layouts of your cafe or restaurant. When the customers come in, you can actually physically seat them on here at the from the till. We can take their details. We can select a rough idea of how long they would be there for, and we can set up a tab for them if we wish. As you can see, so then we can then go and take their order as you would and everything like that. But rather than sort of running in the kitchen and everyone shouting mains away for table 8 and so on, you can actually go through here. So once you've served their drinks and they're ready to now have their starters come out, we can select starters away. And you can see that so that will now print to a kitchen receipt printer. You can now see that they're on starters as well. And then we can follow that through. It will go to mains, and you can see that the icon is changing. So ultimately, if you run a little cafe and somebody comes in and says, have you got a table? You can say, well, currently no, but actually we've got 5 tables that are on desserts or waiting for the bill. And then once they've been billed, it will turn orange, allow you to print the bill. So you do have that ability to kind of get a bit of an idea. You can set up lots of different table types and sizes, so it can be quite flexible and do the layout to match your cafe or restaurant. And we can, once they've billed and paid, it will actually reset the status. But as you can see, we've got the option to so adjust seats. So if somebody initially was just 2 people and then their friends have randomly turned up and they wanted to add them to their table, then you can do that, no problem. And we can split the bill, so we can do item split, which is literally I'm pulling across these specific items and they will pay for them individually, or we can just do division split by 2 people and it will just split it 50-50 as well. So we do have that ability. And then I will just now pop across and show you. So we have a hospitality mode as well. So obviously I've shown you sort of the table layout part, but if I just quickly show you. So as you can see, it just looks a bit different. So it's more something that you would see in a bit of a faster paced environment for, more of a restaurant theme. And I can flick between the two as well. And then if I now just jump across, so we are in the process of releasing a new version, so there are actually many more reports, but KCPOS has its own full dashboard reporting suite. So just to kind of run you through some of them, so forgive the fact that it's demo data, I'm working on getting some more for you, so obviously if you want to see sort of in-depth versions of these reports, I can send them over to you. But just to kind of give you an idea, so the categories on the side allow you to kind of filter these reports, but everything is filterable. So as you can see, I can select certain tills, certain staff members if I wanted to have a look, and I can have a look at them on their sales per month, and this year versus this time last year. I can look at sales per hour. So as you can see, I can compare my stores and what sales they're doing per day, and again compare it to last year as well. And then this just gives me all of my sales summary, so I can have a look at every transaction that's taken place. In terms of product sales, so it's gone to sleep because I've been talking too long. Let me just log back in. So with product sales, so again, there's various different reports. So we can have a look at our top 10 best sellers, worst sellers. It's just loading, but you kind of get the idea. But we can have a look at them this month, and then I can actually do stock sell comparisons. So if I've got multiple stock items that are they're very similar, but they're different brands or different sort of manufacturers, and I want to compare them against each other to limit down my stock, then I can do that too. It's kind of important to note that Dashboards is a web-based browser, so you don't need to be a KCPOS user. So if it's just like the overall director wants to see but doesn't actually use the tool, he can have his own full login with, or she can have their full login with all of the reports. You can also customize the dashboard so that people can only see certain ones. So you might want your sales staff just to have access to the sales summary so that they can have a look at what they've specifically sold. Transactions as well, per till. Have a look at transactions per till, as you can see, and all of your users. So I can compare all of my users against each other and sort of see how they're doing. So you can run sort of sales competitions and all of that kind of thing too. As I mentioned, we are bringing out a new release that has many reports in them. We don't actually charge for extra reports. So if people keep sort of requesting useful reports, we just put them into dashboards and you will get them for free as part of the solution. So yeah, we've got various different options. If, however, you wanted quite a select report that you use all of the time, we can create them for you as well and add them into your dashboard. That's not a problem, as long as the data is obviously readily available. We can, so admissions is more around sort of tourist attractions, obviously, and managing those admissions. But then we also have a couple of options on loyalty customers. So KCPOS as standard has a loyalty module. It's fairly basic, to be honest, as in we can do things like points per pound. So you can say every time a pound is a penny, for example, or 10p, and offer points that will, customers can build up, and you can obviously manage all of that and then provide them with vouchers or whatever once they've collected certain amounts. But that's sort of more in branch. We also do integrate with a company called Yo-Yo for full loyalty, so they can take it a full step further, where you are literally designing. There's lots of different options, but you can design your own app. You can have it sort of all online as well, so that it syncs between the two. But yeah, you can design your own app and alert customers when they're nearby, and sort of push messages across to them to visit your store or whatever. In general, that is a kind of high level overview of KCPOS. As I said, there's lots of sort of, I could go into War and Peace and show you all of the functions, but for now I think that kind of gives you a bit of an overview of what it does. And yeah, so now if I sort of hand back over to Darren, but if anybody has any questions or wants to see a further demonstration, then the guys at EBS would be able to pop you in touch with me.
That's fantastic, Rachel. Very comprehensive. Questions wise, I think you've answered all the ones that there were actually already, which you talked about promotion. So there was a question about 3 for 2s and bog offs and things like that, basically. So you covered that. You covered off what happens if the connection to the back office is lost. So with your snapshots and things like that. And that's about it. Thank you very much for doing that. It is appreciated. As Rachel said, any questions, just fire them over to hello@ebs.tech and we'll pick those up. Just another note, we have another session actually booked in a month's time where Rachel will be showing us the Kamarin ticketing solution, which is great for events, stadiums, those sorts of things, basically attractions as well. So hopefully we'll see you there. Once again, thanks, Rachel.
No worries. Thanks very much. Thanks for inviting me.
See you again soon. No
Speak to you soon.
Take care, everyone.